And now, once again, here she is, Josiane.
Hi. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to my show, Posts of Interest, and Danny Darrow.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're wonderful. You're a food stylist. It's something very exceptional because you study at the Graduate Culinary Institute of America. Explain more about what this is all about.
Well, the Culinary Institute of America is otherwise known as the Harvard of all cooking schools here in the United States. And I think I was the first year they admitted women to study culinary arts at their school. It was really pretty much a boys' club. And I studied French cooking, went through their curriculum. There were about, I think, 6 other women in my class of a student body of something like 2,500, something like that.
Wow.
We studied classical French cooking, some other cuisines also, a little, Italian, Northern and Southern, and a little Asian. So then I went on, I won a scholarship. I competed against 80 other students.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was shocked to find out that I won.
Good.
Oh, wow.
And, good.
We all had to, make something. And
So what'd you make? Let me hear what you made.
well, now this was back in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I guess it was a little innovative. Now it's nothing.
Yeah.
But I made a pumpkin souffle with a chocolate ornament.
Oh, my.
So that was...
Must have been beautiful.
It was pretty. You had to show a couple of different culinary skills within the one dish that you were presenting to try to compete and win this award.
Okay, what is a culinary skill? Let's hear that.
Well, there's a mixing method involved in making a souffle.
Yeah.
So that's important. And it has to crawl up the sides of the souffle dish and then rise above it.
So it's not really beating up any eggs or anything like that?
No, you are.
Yeah, you
but
are.
You've already done that. And
Yeah.
then in your mixture, your souffle mixture, so you have to you have to coat the inside of the casserole dish and sprinkle it with whatever you like.
Okay, what do you coat it with?
Butter,
Yeah.
and then I think I probably used, no, it was a sweet, it's a dessert. I probably coated it with fine sugar.
Okay.
So this gives the souffle mixture a mechanism to crawl up the sides and then over the top.
Oh, my. Okay.
And then I topped it with a chocolate ornament.
Oh.
Yeah. The trick is to keep it up, right? The souffle.
Right.
That's a hard trick. It usually collapses after a while.
Right.
Yes. So.
So what happened after that? I mean, my God,
Well,
you won this big thing.
Yes, I did. It was really lovely. I worked as a student teacher at the Culinary Institute of America for 1 year, rotating around all the pastry departments.
Okay.
Which was really good because I saw how really renowned pastry chefs, they were superb.
Mm-hmm.
One of my instructors had been the pastry chef at the Nixon White House.
Yeah.
I mean, I really learned from the best.
Oh, that's wonderful because over here it says the CIA, and I'm thinking it's the Central Intelligence Agency, and it's not. It's the Culinary Institute of America.
Right, that's a pun they play off of on a lot of their logos. And
Yeah. Oh my God! You also were at La Cirque. Tell us about that.
Yes. Speaking of firsts, I was also the first woman to ever work in the kitchen at La Cirque. And
that must have been tough.
It was tough. It was also an all-boys club.
Yeah.
And if there was a pot way up there, I was never going to ask anybody to help me with anything. So
yep. And you were the only girl? You were the only girl?
I was the only girl, and some of the guys were nice.
Yeah.
And some of them, had a deep resentment. I'm walking in and I'm working in an air-conditioned section because I'm working with chocolates and maybe they've been chopping vegetables there for 20 years, and
yeah.
so.
Oh my!
Yeah.
So you actually changed their scene, or you changed their working area and stuff like that, or?
No, I had my own section.
Yeah, all right.
So that, built some resentment
Yeah,
among some of
A
the
bit of jealousy as
Yeah.
well, probably.
Yeah.
with some people that have been, working there for many, many years.
Yeah,
And
like this is my space, this is my drawer. What are you doing in my space and my drawer? Get out of there. Oh, those are my tools, not your tools. Don't use my tools. Is that what you're going through?
well, no, I had my own space, so I wouldn't be using anybody else's drawers or anything like that.
Okay, all right.
But I'm doing my own thing. I'm my own boss. The executive chef pretty much left me alone.
Oh, wonderful.
And to do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And, somebody who's been chopping vegetables for 20 years, is a little resentful for somebody, a young woman walking in, getting her own area.
Yeah, taking the little space away.
Yeah.
Also, you also worked for Martin Scorsese in the movie called Departed with Matt Damon, and you served them too. Tell us about that.
Well, I didn't serve them. I mean, I made the food look good for a scene that Matt Damon was in, a restaurant scene.
Yeah.
And I made the food for that. And it took me over a week to make all the food and all the components.
Wow, it's a big job.
My apartment, I turned it into a bakery practically.
Good. Okay.
And, then you have to transport all the components to the set.
Yeah.
And I was working with a lot of chocolate. And it was a very hot day, I believe in August.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it was like 99 degrees.
Did anything melt or anything?
Well, I was very concerned about it.
Yeah.
One of my little tricks that I used being a food stylist was I melted wax into my chocolate.
Oh, my.
So this made the melting temperature higher.
Yeah.
So less likely to melt.
Yeah, but what if they ate that?
Well, they really, shouldn't.
They should, but if they did.
Well, it's harmless eating wax, but
Yeah.
everybody knows that
It's decoration.
when something's on a food stylist's table, you don't go by and eat it.
Yeah. And
Although there was an actor that took a whole piece of cake and stuffed it down his mouth, and he was probably starving, and
he didn't realize
I didn't want to tell him
that there was wax in the food.
there was wax
Oh,
in
that's
it.
wonderful. And then, of course, you also said before the show, you told me about Martin Scorsese, that tell us that if it doesn't go right, he stops it, and so on and so forth. What was that?
Well, the prop master hired me for this job.
Yeah.
And he said, let me explain something to you. When we're ready for your scene and you put your food out where, supposed to be for your scene,
Mm-hmm.
and if Marty stops rolling camera, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
If Marty says, what's that, and stops rolling camera, we have a problem.
Okay.
He said, if Marty just continues rolling film, then you're cool.
You're cool.
Everything's fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
You did create your own company, as a matter of fact, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I have my own website, sarahfood-stylist.com, where clients can reach me, production companies, producers, directors. I'm easily reachable. I'm also listed in all the source books online and, hard copy. So that's how I get my work.
Wonderful. And towards the end, we're going to see your credits so people can reach you if they wish to. Control room, is it possible to see some of Sarah's dishes, please, one after the other? So she will explain what it is, all of it, please, whenever you have a minute, if it's possible.
Can we see that? But the thing, while we're waiting, you're
Yeah,
here we
there
go.
it is, there it is.
Here we go.
So what was that, mint julep or something like that? Or what is it?
That, I believe, was an editorial job for Brides magazine.
Looks very appetizing.
And what they're really doing is selling the glassware.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It was hand-blown glass.
But the stuff in the glassware is beautiful also. Oh
Yeah,
my,
look
what's
at
that,
that.
Sarah?
That looks like a Middle Eastern, some kosher
Fruit
dish
pie and
on my
pie.
kosher page.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's in it? You know what's in it? You remember?
Looks like couscous, apricots, prunes, almonds,
yummy.
sesame seeds.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Tell us about that.
This job was very challenging. It was for packaging. for the maker of these molds for these cupcakes on a stick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was coming out around Halloween time.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see, it was a decorating challenge.
No, especially the cut.
That's adorable.
Thank you.
Man with a nose and
even
everything.
the pumpkin has very little teeth. There's only 3 teeth in his mouth. Careful.
Yeah. I mean, that's a sushi,
oh, what's
right?
that?
Sushi, no?
Just sushi. I think it was for, as I recall, the opening of some Japanese restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see some ginger there.
Yes.
And that the green stuff is what? What is that?
That's
green stuff?
wasabi.
Wasabi.
Be very, very hot.
Yeah, yeah. And how about the thing in the middle? And what is that, little lobster tail at the end or something?
Shrimp.
No, shrimps.
Oh, shrimp. Okay, all right. Oh my,
lasagna?
look at.
Lasagna?
Right, this was for frozen food products.
Yeah. Oh, that looks beautiful.
I
Very
believe
nice.
a vegetarian lasagna.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, I wish we could have a piece now. It'd be wonderful. Oh boy, look at this. Go ahead, Sarah. Tell us about it.
It's another dessert from my kosher page, noodle pudding.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that?
Yummy,
That's
yes.
beautiful.
We got with apple maybe.
Oh, and there we go.
Yes.
And back with the cheeses. And here we are again.
I see.
Gee, that's wonderful. You are very particular about all these small details I see and everything else. Aren't
Well,
you?
I'm supposed to be detail oriented. That's one of the things that makes a good food stylist.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's beautiful. All your
And
stuff
make
is
it look
beautiful.
very, very, very appetizing.
Thank you.
That's
the goal.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all sold a few, but I mean that's really that's a goal, like you said. Yes.
So this is all actually for like commercial photography, print, and film, and everything else.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You're specialized in advertising also?
I do everything: advertising, packaging, editorial, print, commercials, feature films.
Yeah, not just for restaurant, but companies as well. Companies that representing
Mostly for companies.
Mostly for companies.
Because little mom and pop restaurants, unless it's large, major chains that hire food stylists.
Yeah, because it must be expensive.
It's
a
expensive.
high-end kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is, well, sure, because and
Do you
those
do
people.
cookbooks as well?
Oh yes, actually, I have done cookbooks too.
And interesting. That's a big job, cookbook, because it's not only the pictures, also the combination of the text as well.
Right, and let me see, some of the better known cookbooks I've worked on would be Sylvia's cookbook, Sylvia's restaurant up in Harlem, and Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, yeah. That's
I did his cookbook also.
wonderful.
I didn't realize
Wow.
Dr. Phil had a cookbook. I know many years ago, before he got his TV show, he called me and interviewed me over the telephone. I think that's what he was doing from Long Island. I think he lived in Long Island. And then all of a sudden he got his own show. Amazing. And where else are we going to go with you, Sarah? My goodness, features,
she has
commercials.
other
I'm reading the script over here.
interests as well.
Interests, all your interests. Tell us about all your interests and everything.
Aside from food styling?
Yeah.
Well, I love to eat, so I'm always thinking about the next meal.
The next meal, all right. What are you going to make for dinner tonight?
Well, I don't do anything fancy for myself.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
No, so it wouldn't be very impressive.
But if you have a guest, then you do
Yeah, I
something.
go all out. I like to entertain.
Yeah.
And I do have guests come over for sure. Yeah.
I'm sure you
Okay.
have people lined up for your food.
Okay, well, one of these days...
Nobody's complained.
Yes, all
No.
right. We'll be invited, then you'll make us a meal. Be wonderful. Wow. Okay, what else?
I work out a lot at the gym.
Yeah.
That goes very well together.
I enjoy doing that. I think it's a healthy way to. It's healthy on so many different fronts. Mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Good for your body.
Relieve stress.
Yeah, everything. So it's good to do.
Yeah. How
because
many... Go ahead.
Sorry. I also believe that when you have a job, an assignment like that, you have to take a lot of stuff with you because you don't know what they have, so you must be equipped, number one. And it's a lot of stress as well.
Well,
So
yeah,
when you
there's
go
a
on
lot of
assignment-
pressure on a shoot. You have to foresee what the client may want, even if they haven't asked for it.
Do you take a lot of equipment with you?
Yes, I pretty much have a movable kitchen. that I, can take with me anywhere.
Wow.
So,
Do you need a van or a truck, or can you manage a small
no,
amount?
usually, more often than not, production company van will pick me up.
All right, good, fine,
Yeah.
good.
Yes, that sounds pretty.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot
job.
of lugging, a lot of schlepping.
A lot
And
of
a lot of
schlepping.
stress, I presume.
Well, it is, but the beautiful thing about food styling is, however long that job takes, when it's over, it's over.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. And don't forget, it's just a job. It's just a job, and then go on to the next one. How many years have you been doing this?
20 plus years.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
What an expertise.
So you started when you were 8 years old, huh?
Now you're my best friend.
Okay, all right.
She must have, I'm sure she did.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
As a child, she must have been. What? That's another thing. What enticed you to be in the cooking business?
Very good question.
That's a curious
I
thing.
actually, my parents divorced when I was 10, and my mother had to go back to work, and she basically assigned me, you're now going to be making dinner for the family at age 10.
Oh, okay.
So I started out with the
It was pretty
typical,
close.
usual hot dogs, hamburgers, spaghetti and meatballs, and then I just had such an interest in it, like it was so exciting to me, what am I going to make for dinner tonight, that I read Julia Child's cookbooks, I had read Escoffier's cookbook, and I used to watch Julia Child on her
She's so
cooking show.
interesting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I started really up at I'm 13 years old and I'm making wild mushroom souffle and,
Oh my goodness, how
Wow.
wonderful.
beef bourguignon for
Oh,
dinner.
Sarah, you really have to come over for dinner. I tell you, my mother was a horrible cook, a terrible cook, and all she knew how to make was broiled steak. This is going back a long time, broiled steak. And she always used to ask me, Sonny, she used to call me Sonny, Sonny, how do you like it? I said, Mother, I can't stand it. Sonny, this is, and all you could do is broiled steak every night. So one night, she decided to make lamb stew. So she asked me how I liked it.
I don't know if that's
wait a minute, but I
good
made a very big mistake. I told her, Mother, that's the best thing you ever made me, lamb stew. I love it. I ate it every night for a month. She gave every night for dinner lamb stew. And I said, Mother, please, I
became
can't
good at it.
stand eating the same thing all the time. And she says, well, you told me you liked it. But what else?
I tried to mix it up. So.
Good. Wonderful. Good. Now you're my friend.
But that's such a skill, not only to manage to combine also leftovers and do something nice with it. That's also another thing. It's a skill that,
There weren't too many leftovers.
Great. Tell us more about, starting out in the industry and everything else.
I went to culinary school.
Yeah.
And I was a pastry chef for 5 years.
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, that's how you got into Le Cirque.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the assistant pastry chef at
Yeah.
Le Cirque.
Oh,
I assisted
wonderful.
Jacques Therese, the famous pastry chef.
Yeah.
And I then decided, I did things backwards, that I wanted to go to college.
Okay. And where'd you go?
I went to Columbia,
Yeah. All right.
and I majored in human and primate evolution.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I just find it fascinating, people's origins, human origin, and evolution. I just found it fascinating subject. So my minor was French, which tied in with the food also.
Yeah, and she speaks fluent French. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
and you have one cat, am I correct?
Yes, one cat. Her name is Sushi.
I love the name.
Sushi. Okay, but that's Japanese, isn't it?
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
Yes. All right. So
Right.
she's a Japanese cat?
No, she's American.
Oh, American. Okay.
Sushi Greenberg.
Sushi Greenberg. Okay. All right.
I love it.
Is there a middle initial?
Well, yes, she can take my middle initial.
Okay. Sushi Greenberg.
Right.
Wonderful. And does she have a website?
No.
But you have one.
Right.
Okay. So what is the website again?
SarahFood-Stylist.com.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Now, what else happened over at Columbia College?
I did a wonderful program that they offered there. which was you could do a semester abroad. So Columbia has a campus in Paris called Reed Hall, small little school. Josiane, do you know that school or?
I heard of it, but I
Okay.
Mead
so
Hall.
It's Reed.
Oh, Reed Hall.
Reed.
It's off, excuse my accent, Rue Montmartre.
Yeah, and that's in Paris.
Montmartre.
Yeah, all right.
So I went through this program, had a lot of fun.
Okay. And how long did you stay in Paris?
About 3 months.
Oh, all right, all right. What else did you do in Paris besides go to school?
Well, I just had a great time. There was a swimming pool called Piscine de Ligny, which was on a barge in Paris,
That's unusual.
and that it has since burned down. But it's it was a lot of fun. That was fun, and of course, I went to all the museums, all the gardens, ate at all like many of the wonderful restaurants. And not just the French restaurants; they have a great Vietnamese restaurants and
Really?
in Algerian restaurants, former colonies.
Did you see any of the restaurants design food out there like you design your food?
No, not at all. No, and I wasn't even a food stylist then.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is after being a pastry chef.
Yeah.
Then I, went and got my BA.
Good.
And
you got your BA from where?
Columbia.
Columbia, okay.
And then when I went back out into the workforce, somebody had told me, a friend who was a producer told me about food styling. I had never heard of it. And what I did was I got a hold of the source book. I ended up assisting for 3.5 years, which is basically was slave labor.
Slave labor, okay.
Yes.
Where was the slave labor?
Working with different food stylists as their assistants.
Oh, but that's wonderful training for you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And then I practically starved for a year going out on my own as a principal.
Good.
And then I've been a principal ever since.
Wonderful. Wonderful,
How
great.
did your parents react when you said that you want to become a food stylist? Did they encourage you, or they said, "Well, it's very hard it's a rare job. I mean, to make money with it." Did your parents encourage you? Did your family encourage you to do that, or you just went on your own?
No, they did not encourage me.
Oh.
And I just went ahead and did it anyway.
Maybe your father wanted you to become a lawyer.
Possibly.
Something like that.
Well, look at you have to enjoy what you do.
Right.
You have to love it. And do you enjoy it, and do you love being a food stylist?
Yeah, because every job is different. Every job is a challenge, and for the most part, it's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
We only have a few minutes left. We have about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I was just going to ask her if she has any projects lined up.
Yes.
What do you have lined up?
Actually, right now I don't have any projects
Yeah.
lined up,
All
but
right.
my last project I worked on a short while ago was for a Pepsi commercial.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And what did you do for them?
This may surprise you, but they were very concerned with the spritz on the bottle, the Pepsi bottle.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, the bubbles cannot run. And you also want to see different size bubbles. You don't want it looking all the same size bubbles.
Wow.
Well, how in the world did you do that?
Well, it's not so easy, but there is a way to get that job done.
You want to tell us your secret?
No.
All right, okay. All right, don't tell us your secret. All right.
Some baking soda, all kinds of things.
What other bubbly or non-bubbly before the bubbles? What else did you do before then?
Oh, I've worked on many, countless commercials.
Yeah, your favorite? What was your favorite?
My favorite. A TV episode of Sex and the City.
Yeah, and what'd you do there?
Well, the producer asked me to fill up a 16-foot table with S&M food.
Oh, how wonderful.
What
And
is
I said-
S&M food?
Well, why didn't I
Well, that's
see
what I
that?
said to the producer. I said, "What is S&M food?"
Yeah.
She said, "Well, you figure it out. You're the food stylist."
Oh, my, how
So I had a
wonderful.
lot of creative freedom with that job, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what exactly, in detail, can you tell us what the S&M food is?
Sure, I made a poached salmon, whole salmon, and I put a dog collar across, like where the head would be, a spiky dog collar. I had squabs hanging upside down from the inside of bird cages.
Oh, my God.
I had lots of oysters, bloody roast beefs,
Yeah,
bananas,
Yeah.
I was inspired by the Rolling Stones' Beggar's Banquet album.
yeah.
So that job was a lot of fun because I had total creative freedom.
Yeah, that wonderful. Do you have any body parts hanging around or anything?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Maybe I should have hired you as my assistant.
But I'm not a food designer, you are. But I've got a lot of crazy ideas, though.
But to change the subject, you do something like skiing as well, which is nothing to do with food.
I do ski. I haven't skied in a while, actually, but
One of your favorite sports.
it is. It's fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. Oh my! So what else? What else would have been a favorite job of yours? Something that you really remember?
Well, the Martin Scorsese, The Departed film is
Yeah.
a feather in my cap
Yeah.
because that film won an Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
one,
just
yeah.
to be part of that project, I am very proud. I've worked on countless, if you go to my website, you'll see I worked on countless commercials, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Ragu. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Can you tell everybody what your website is so they'll check it?
Sure, my website is www.sarahfood-stylist.com.
And one more time.
sarahfood-stylist.com.
Great.
Wonderful, wonderful. So people know how to get in touch with
Great.
you. This is great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show,
It's-
Josie Enns.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
We have to, how should I say it? What are your projects for the future as far as your own company? What would you like to do? What would you like to develop internationally, or do you want to stay to the United States? Or what you
No,
doing?
I'm fine being local.
Do you want to advertise more, maybe on the internet, or do you want to, besides your web, do you want to get, for people to know you even more about you? Is this something you would like to?
Well, they pick it up off the website.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
I mean, is there some other project you wish to do? Be more on television, be more on something like that?
I
to
actually would like to get into doing maybe some episodes.
demonstration.
Like some, TV shows where they have like a food stylist on staff. That might interest me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be a food stylist. I just got a script from Helen Hunt in California. She wrote her own script called Ride, and I had to audition for a part because they're coming in October. I don't know if they're going to want a food stylist in that
Well,
show.
it's
They're going to
how-
be in all kinds of different restaurants, though, and everything.
Well, mention to the producer.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get the job, though.
Well, if you do get the job, mention to the producer. If they need a food stylist, you know one.
Yeah, good. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Me
Definitely.
too. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Sure.
But it's a thing which is you don't hear very much about food stylists. It's something
Because
that
we're behind the scenes.
Yeah.
exactly
Because there'll be some famous chef, like I've done Emerald show on the Food Network,
Mm.
and I'm behind the